up guys? Today you join me, we're going to pick up a new project bike. Now I've been wanting to do a project bike forever. My first ever big bike was a project bike. It was a Suzuki GSX-R 600 S-Rad. I think it was a 98 plate. I didn't have a license when I bought it. I got it for dirt cheap, and I did that up and I loved it. It was really rewarding and I kind of fancy doing it again. And this bike came along for a friend of my dad's. You know, I got it for a good deal. I know the person, so I trust it's not a pig, and we're gonna do some work on it and I'll reveal it to you when we get there. It's a bit of an interesting one. I've had this engine configuration before. It's an older bike. It's, I think, over 20 years old, but I don't mind that. I don't mind the fact it's a little bit older. You know, I feel like I know this bike a little bit because it's not too far away from my S-Rad, so it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to the journey of getting it back on the road. I love doing up bikes, and you know, giving them some love and getting them back on the road. And I'm looking forward to showing the guy I bought the bike off, Josh. I'm looking forward to showing him how it's or when it's done, and you know, hopefully we can surprise him with it and show him it and let him have a little ride on it, because yeah, he was gutted to see it go, I could tell. So see you there. Okay, it's day one of the TL 1000R. Say hello, Dad.
Hello.
Dad doesn't like being filmed. Finds it awkward. Time to get it back. Okay, welcome to my mum and dad's garden. So here she is. She needs some love. Replace that. Has some fancy blue flame exhaust, I think. Don't know if that's standard, but I quite like it. Wheels were painted not so long ago, which is good. They got a red, that's painted. Interesting, I think. Yeah, it's painted. Fancy. I'm gonna replace these are the brake lines, they're all cracked. So this is a 1998 bike, and it's been sat for, well, since 2015. So it's been sat for about, yeah, 9 years. Cobwebs everywhere. I'm going to take these bolts off, give them a nice clean. I've already taken the tank off a little bit because we have an issue. But yeah, look at it. Crazy looking bike, isn't it? So the first problem I have is it doesn't start. It ticks over, but no bang. So first things first, I noticed when you turn on the ignition, the fuel pump doesn't prime. So I know over time that they can seize. Pretty much everything on this bike that's degrades over time has degraded. So I'm going to order all new brakes, redo the calipers, so give them a service, all new seals, etc. Clean them out, take them apart. And yeah, we'll start with the fuel pump. So with the TL 1000R, the fuel pump is about here. So the tank's got to come off. I've already lifted it up and snapped the fuel line because they're that brittle. So new fuel line as well. I'll show you it when we get underneath. So yeah, I'll catch you in a sec when I get the fuel tank off. Okay, I'm gonna try and remember what we're doing. So when I turn the ignition on, I get a click from the relay. Let's see if I can switch around to show you. Maybe not. So the relay is here, I believe. This clicks. Now ideally, what I need to do is test to ensure that this is getting power. And then if that's getting power, follow that to the fuel pump. That being said, the fuel pump is here. I just took it out. You can see it's filthy. No clicking. This is the breather hose I think I broke. So I've ordered a new one anyway. So I'm going to replace the fuel pump, and need to take out these little neon things. just because I don't really like them, so they're going to go. But I thought while I'm here, I just as well take this off, get underneath, give this area a little bit of a clean, make sure it's all accessible. You know, clean up these things if you haven't moved in a while. They're a little bit stiff, but yeah. Ooh, so far so good. Okay, update. I've got the airbox off. It's over there, and then this is what I'm faced with. I have a feeling it's been a while since anything, well, maybe something lived in here not that long ago. Gonna give it a clean. See if I can figure out where the smell of fuel is coming from. There's a bit of a smell of fuel in here, so maybe there's a leak, but yeah. So whilst I'm waiting for the fuel pump, I'm gonna get on with the calipers because they are seized. Okay, both calipers off. Don't know where this liquid comes from, it just keeps coming. But the wheel actually spins now, which is nice. The pin in the caliper, oh my god, it just keeps coming. This one is seized. I need to get it out to get the pads out, because the pads are gone, so that's another job. Okay, that's all three calipers off. Final one, this is the rear caliper. You can see it's been a while. It's completely seized. I can't move it. This little thing on the end, the little bleed nipple is seized in there. Two bleed nipples are both seized. So I've got a caliper rebuild kit on the way for front and rear. Gonna have fun getting the pins out of this one. It's got two, and yeah, the hoses look a bit gone. See here, water's got in there, started to rust the inside. So new set of those as well. To be expected though. It's all the stuff that just degrades over time. So on to the next. Okay, screen off. Look at that. I don't want to clean it. I've already had a lot of spiders on me. I'm gonna get in there and clean those up though, be nice. Right, I'm gonna call it a day for today. I've got all the calipers off and I have got the fuel pump out, giving it a clean. Yeah, it's good to get in the bike and have a look and see what I'm dealing with. It's not as bad as I thought it was, considering it's been sat there for 9 years. So hopefully the fuel pump will arrive in the next day or two, and we can put that in, and fingers crossed it might fire. Okay, fuel pump. So this is the fuel pump which I think is at fault. I now have a nice new one, which I'm gonna have to figure out how to fit on, but we're just taking this apart now. So I'm just gonna mark up negative, which is this side, and positive, which is down there. Okay, new fuel pump in. This is bodged because it doesn't actually reach, which is kind of annoying, but it's my own fault for having a eBay special, I think. So I need to buy some connectors for here and around the other side, but I've just connected them up just to see if the fuel pump is going to work. So the fuel pump's plugged in. It doesn't have 12 volts of battery because the batteries are dead, but let's see if it goes. Hallelujah. Please. Fuel pump needs fuel. Okay, so as my fuel pump is leaking from the bottom of the tank, I bought some VTOL rubber. I'm going to make a gasket out of this. So I've already cut out this, which is the diameter of the fuel pump. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you where I'm going to put it. I'm going to trim this a little bit more and then I'll show you. Okay, so here we have one rusty fuel pump. We're going to take that out carefully. And then here we have the O-ring. This O-ring will need to be trimmed down until it fits into this little groove here and it's flush. So I've got a bit more trimming to do, but that's where it needs to go. In there, like so. Okay, and there's the gasket fitted. I think I might have done it a little bit too small, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. I've got another one to use up if this one doesn't work, so this is how it goes. Ideally, you should put it inside this little ridge here, and then it should come to this edge, but this might be okay. Okay, fuel tank back on. Had a bit of a problem here where I had the fuel tank upside down, and yeah, the fuel got under a chip on the paint and all the paint came off, or a bit of it anyway. So potentially a new spray job on the tank, but I managed to connect the broken hose underneath, so that's good for now. It's got a bit of fuel in it. The fuel pump should be working now and not have any leaks. So I'm going to try and give it a start. It needs a bump, so we've got a jump pack. We're going to connect it and see if it will start with the right fuel pressure and take over. Okay, caliper rebuild time. Safe to say that this brake pad needed to be replaced. That is very done. These pins were seized in as well. Absolute pain in the arse to get out they were, but they're out. Okay, time to take the caliper apart. I'm going to use a little trick here to try and get these out because I don't have any tools. I don't have an air line to attach to the nipple to get these out, so I saw a little trick I'm going to try. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to have to put it back on the bike, put some fluid in it and use the hydraulic pressure to push these pistons out. But I did see a trick, so I'm going to let you know if it works or not, and I'll show you. Okay, so I want to show you how I'm getting these pistons out without using air pressure or any specialist tools. There are some specialist tools available. This is one of them. I found it not really been that helpful, to be honest. If the piston is already loose, this will work, but if they're seized, like a lot of mine have been, then it's not really any good. So what you'll need for this technique is you'll need a few sockets of varying sizes depending on the size of your piston, and what you want to do is get an Allen key as well, or another socket even, and a ratchet. And what you want to do is you want to put the socket in, fiddle around with the size, so then you can wedge it in, so it's nice and wedged. I'm using this technique on a loosened piston already just to show you for demonstration, but you can use this on a seized one if you want. Wedge that in there, use that force to then twist, and then pull at the same time, and you can go around and around. This will take some effort on a seized one, but essentially, show you the leverage I can get. And it's out. Repeat on the others. Okay, all the front calipers are now out. Time to clean. A lot of brake cleaner required, a toothbrush, some wire wool, and also the pistons as well. Okay, new seals are in. Cleaned up a few things, pretty much. These are better than they were. Bolts to do. Got a new kit here, so just going to assemble it together. Okay, reassemble time. EBC HH sintered brakes. I really like these pads, so I'm using them on this. They're in. So much better than it was. Everything's free moving. The pin's nice and free. I put the pin in there, you can see. Just got this to put on, and then finished. Okay, next up, mudguard's coming off. I got a new Got a new mudguard from the post, carbon fibre, 70 quid, so not too bad. We'll fit that now. Squeaky clean, new pads, ready to go, back on. Okay, next up, to improve the brakes. Now the calipers are done. Braided lines. Got these off of, what are they, BTR. They should improve the brakes a bit and also replace the ones that are currently just old and rusty and a bit nasty. So I thought I'd just replace all of the brakes just because I'd rather be safe than sorry. I like fresh, good brakes. So let's put them on. Okay, so we're starting off with this old rusty thing. Following that down, I've already done the calipers on this bike, so all of this is going to be replaced. Just pull it out and get the new ones in. Okay, that's loosely fitted. Just have to fiddle around in there to get that routed properly. Haven't actually done it up yet, just put it in. Coming out the bottom, now time to do the over the mudguard secondary. Okay, braided lines, that one's fitted. Still need to put the rear caliper on because I snapped the bleed nipple. Just got to tighten the front ones up and then put some fluid in.